Do you have a Christmas tree?
Yeah. It's my
Okay.
black Christmas tree with spiders and poinsettias on it and stuff.
Um, I feel like I should have a fake Christmas tree for the years like this year where I'm like, I don't want to go get a Christmas tree.
Why? Do you mean a fake one?
Yeah, yeah. I usually get a real one.
You do?
Yeah,
I don't know anybody who does that.
because you live in the city.
But we have Christmas tree lots here in the city. I believe it or not, in the
How do you
city of
not?
Chicago, we have real trees.
How do you not know anyone who gets a real Christmas tree?
I don't know. I mean, it might be because I live in the city and because we all have apartments.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. I don't I mean, it's just as much trouble to get a huge fake Christmas tree into your I don't know. I've never had a real one. I've never been around a real
Whoa,
one.
what?
Really? Yeah.
They are their own sort of like magical thing. Like they smell good. They make your house smell good.
They like
They're
shed. You get like pine
yeah,
needles everywhere and you step in
yeah.
the pine needles.
Yes, that's good. Well, I mean, I think you might be overstating. It's not like you're walking around all winter with like wounds in your feet. Pine needles are pretty. They're not very harmful. And I often get as at least as a kid, I would get a blue spruce, which has sort of sharper pine needles. And even then,
Why would you
pine
get the
needles work
one with the sharp pine needles?
because they are a little like more hypoallergenic, and my mom was allergic to Christmas trees, but she always wanted a real one, so we would get
Oh,
a blue spruce, which it has a kind of like a bluish tint on one side of the each of the needles.
like turquoise?
um Turquoise, no, like a pale bluish tint
All
on
right, let me
one
look
side
it
of
up.
the needles, on one side of the needle.
What's it called?
A blue spruce. So like
Okay.
if you see a picture on the
Ah,
internet, that's probably going to have the contrast turned up and look like very blue.
very
But
blue. Yeah, no, I see what you mean though.
in reality, if you look really close to the needle, it'll be like one side is kind of bluish, the
Yeah.
other side is definitely still green.
That's pretty. I like it.
Yeah, and what the other thing about having stiff, sharp needles is they hold the ornaments better. And I don't know,
I mean, my
were
fake
you
tree does that just fine.
were you a colored lights and just like garbage ornaments that like you've collected your whole life and there's no theme whatsoever? Were you
That's
that
what
kind of Christmas tree person?
That's what it was growing up, yeah. So
Yeah.
we had all these old ornaments. My parents were a little bit older, they had me when they were 39, so they had all of these insane ornaments that were
Yeah.
just really old school ornaments. I don't have those anymore, I have my own that I've made. Now I have a black Christmas tree with, like I put little fake poinsettias on it and spiders, and Krampus is, like, the star.
So
Krampus
now
or
okay, so now you have a themed Christmas
I have a
tree.
themed Christmas,
Okay.
yeah.
I still just do my Christmas tree is just a big fucking collage of weird shit that
I
I've
wanna
collected
see
across the
it.
year. I don't have one this year.
Right, right,
But
right.
I do colored lights, and so it's not that I don't enjoy the look of a themed Christmas tree. When somebody has a Christmas tree and it's like white lights and all silver and gold balls or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, for my Christmas,
Mhm.
there's like a comfort in the warm, cheesy corniness
Absolutely, there is.
of just
If I still had my old ornaments from childhood, which I have no idea where they could have ended up. Both of my parents have passed, so who knows? Where
yeah.
they're probably in a Goodwill somewhere. Someone's like, "What is this?" And of course, all of my homemade ornaments from school, those were pretty good.
Those are all gone?
They're all gone, yeah.
No. I mean,
My
they
my
all fall
my homemade wreath ornaments, yeah, they're all
they
gone.
pretty much fall apart by this point anyway.
They
When
do.
by the time you're in your 30s or 40s, almost all of your uh homemade Christmas ornaments from when you were a kid are like
Yeah.
in pieces.
Yep.
And you're like so you're putting up something with like it's like 5 popsicle sticks, and where there used to be things that made it Christmassy on them, you just see like spots of dried glue with
Yeah.
nothing on top of them.
And that's Christmas decor.
That's what Christmas is.
Do you have a favorite, like, ornament from your childhood?
Favorite or I have a Spider-Man ornament where it has, like, so on top of his head, it's got, like, a little place that you can put a hook. So you can
Mhm.
hold him up by his head, but then there's he's mid swing, and there are strings coming out of his hands that each have hooks on them. So
Mhm.
you can position them so it legitimately looks like he's swinging through your tree, like you've caught him mid swing.
Cute. Do you
Like
wanna
you,
hear, like, my favorite ornament?
I would love to.
So do you remember those, like, electric ornaments that you can take out one of the
Mhm.
Christmas lights and that you can actually, like, plug it in? Do you remember
Yes, I
those?
have a couple of those. Yeah.
Yeah, my aunt had one that was, like, a penguin rock band in, like, a little snow globe, and they were, like, all these penguins that moved up and down. They were playing, like, they were playing instruments, and that's my favorite.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Basically, every single one of those that I have is broken,
Yep.
and because I keep trying them every single because I keep trying them every single year, I have to find where I tried it last year so that I could be like because none of the lights won't turn on, and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
that's because it's missing. That's because I took one light bulb out last year and then got too lazy to put it back when I was cleaning up."
that's that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so
I love those ornaments, but yeah, they're definitely made to break over time.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, it doesn't feel like we've gotten a closing line here.
No, I'm just real
So,
happy about the holidays.
yeah, me too. Hey,
We don't need to be funny, we can be
hey,
sentimental sometimes.
hey, Roses.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Aw, Merry Christmas, Matt.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Save Your Game. I am your host, Matt Ocamp, and with me is the Noggy,
Think you
the
mean naughty? No, you mean
the
Noggy.
naughty and nice, pushing up roses.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Save Your Game. Hi, Matt.
Hey,
Are you excited?
for Christmas,
No, for the game we're talking about today.
I'm really excited for the game we're
What a
talking about
great
today.
Christmas game. No, it's
It's the
not.
most Christmassy of all game. No, it's like legitimately a Halloween game. Like it takes place
Yeah, on
on
Halloween.
Halloween, right?
But let me just say this though. I
hmm
think that this game, because of the cozy nature of it,
hmm
is like kind of perfect to play on like a
Yeah.
cold night, cold winter night with a cup of Christmas chili.
Christmas chili. It's got okay, you do
It's
beans,
got
you
pine
do
needles in it.
yeah, exactly. You do beans and you do tomatoes, and then you do holly berries, which are poisonous. You do pine needles, which you shouldn't eat. Well, you
You
can
shouldn't
eat
eat
pine
those, yeah.
needles.
You
You can eat
shouldn't.
pine, but it'll just it'll stab you in the throat.
Yeah, you shouldn't
But
do that.
they're not poisonous. You could die. Can you digest pine? Whatever, you don't die.
Just
Point
don't do it. Don't try
anyway.
to find
So
out.
holly berries, which
Terrible
are
idea.
poisonous, mistletoe, which is poisonous. We'll throw in pine needles, which will stab you in the throat, but maybe you can soften them a bit. What else do we do? Cranberry sauce in
Ew.
the chili.
Ew. I don't like
Sugar
cranberry sauce.
plums.
What is a sugar plum really?
So
No, we don't have time for nope, nope, we don't have
no,
time for
the
this.
thing about a sugar plum is it just means a type of candy. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't.
It's not plum flavored.
Yes, the term sugar plum it was just like a catch-all term for candies. So when you
Yeah,
say with visions of sugar plums dancing in their head, they're not
just
talking about something
candy.
specific. They're
Yeah,
saying it's like sweet treats.
yeah. But I
Since
do want a
then,
sugared plum.
because everybody knows the term sugar plum, since then there are a couple different specific candies called sugar plums, but initially the word was just like a generic word. Hey,
I think I
before
think
we
my
talk
partner can hear me podcasting because he texted me a recipe for traditional sugar plums. So, yeah, just go online, folks, to G Free Foodie, and you can make your own sugar plums. They look kinda good, actually.
Well, so it probably what so a traditional quote unquote sugar plum probably just means that they used to make like sugared fruits and
Yes, like dried fruits, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
sugar like dried fruits or like I think hardened like fruit. You'd make basically fruit preserves and then let them harden.
Mhm. I have a
Anyway,
hot take. I have a hot take.
yeah.
I like fruitcake. I think it is delicious. If you don't like it, you're wrong.
Huh.
Fruitcake is do you like soda bread?
That is a hot take.
I love fruitcake. Oh my gosh. I just like food. Yeah.
Hey, before we talk about the game that we're talking about today
Yeah,
that
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
saw on the name of this episode, can I tell you about another game I've been playing?
Yeah, just FYI, I haven't played anything because I got so addicted to the game that we played. Like, I played it over and over, I binged it, I got all the endings, but do tell me about another game that you had played.
What you're describing is something I did a couple weeks ago, so I totally get it.
Yeah, I
Um,
know, yeah.
but
You played this long before I did.
yeah, but I've been trying to I've been getting ready for game of the year, so I've been trying to play some of the
Oh,
games
okay.
that especially more recent games that I
Oh my
missed.
god, Matt, you're gonna be so proud of me. I
Huh,
did play a game.
no way.
Strange Jigsaws.
You played Strange Jigsaws,
Yeah,
actually?
I'm terrible at it. Absolutely
Yeah,
fucking horrendous. I feel real dumb. But however, it may get a mention in my own little game of the year video.
because you
It's not
you
it's not really a game of the year video. It's just 5 games I played this year that I liked.
but you like Strange Jigsaws then?
Yes, I think it's super unique. I've
Yeah.
never seen anything like it. I laughed right away when Fleb, the chat guy, like the customer service guy starts
Yeah.
it's just really unique, you guys. I
It's
s I see what you mean by saying, like, it's got that, there is no game
mhm.
vibe to it. I absolutely see what you mean. Yeah, it's unique. It's not an adventure game, uh, but it is an experimental game, that
Which
has some narrative aspects. It's unique. I think it's
it's
very
got like a
unique.
meta narrative, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's and I think like the word this is why we call our we often say we kind of slip up and say this is an adventure game podcast, but it's really like we
It's
talked early on. This is like a narrative game
yeah,
podcast,
with
and
focus on indie games. I think we should just do whatever we want.
yeah, but I think a lot of times experiment like adventure game fans, narrative game fans, they
Mhm.
also have a soft spot for like the experimental too,
I think
because
they do too,
those are
yeah.
things that really don't fall into other like they have trouble falling into other categories, so they tend to
Yeah.
just be like, yeah, it's kind of like an adventure game.
I mean, that's what I always said about, like, these kind of all these kinda games. It's like,
uh,
remember when people were like, "Oh, Gone Home, that's not a video game, and it shouldn't be on Steam, it shouldn't be tagged." I'm like, "But it doesn't matter."
yeah,
Because people who like adventure games, people who like maybe even hidden object casual are gonna also like this game.
yeah,
So, it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah, yeah,
matter
yeah,
to
yeah.
me. Anyway, sorry,
No,
small little tangent.
well, I'll do a small little tangent too. Then I got to the I haven't I'm at the very end of Buy Sweet Carol.
Oh, really? I was
Hmm.
thinking about that the other day. How do you find it?
Um, it's just I I think it's kind of like we said before. The gameplay isn't amazing, but it's not bad.
Right. I
Um,
think what that game has going for it, it is a feat in artistic beauty.
yes, and it continues to be that. And there are some beautiful narrative moments in it too. When I kind of saw the reveal of who the boy that we
Mhm.
were chasing
That
the
we
whole
were
time.
chasing. Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember his name. It's like the name of some French city, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it could be accurate.
Not Paris, but some French.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was. I saw the reveal of who that person was
Uh-huh.
coming from the very beginning, but
Yeah,
there were
yeah.
some other twists and turns I did not see coming. Like now I know who the
Cool.
final, like the real villain of the game is,
Oh,
and
cool.
I know what happened to Carol, and it is. I'll just say this game is sadder than you think.
I figured it might be just because, it's got that kind of
Hmm.
gothic fairy tale, and fairy tales are often not very happy. Some of them are, but there's a lot of sad moments
Hmm.
in fairy tale type
There's a lot
storytelling,
of
so
kind of clumsy. There's a lot more like we talked about that. There's some clumsy plays
yeah.
at sort of almost like a slightly outdated form of feminism that could
Sure,
you know more adequately be described as women's liberation, right?
sure, sure.
There's some more clumsy plays at that, and some of them are actually like some of them are touching, even if they are not. They don't really hold up to much
Yeah,
uh, scrutiny, but
sure.
they still like lead to some touching moments. And I do they do like kind of reverse some of the events that you've already seen in a way that you're like, oh, something different was happening than what I thought.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like there is I think it is worth getting to the end of By Sweet Carol. It's not going to be the best story you've ever played, but it is going to it's going to it's satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just even I think even just the aesthetic and play, the mechanic
Mhm.
is pretty memorable. Like I said, I was thinking about it randomly the other day, so yeah.
Yeah. Um, so okay, here's the game that I've been playing recently, and I made
Uh-huh.
a lot of progress on. And I have some thoughts about, and that's the game Foolish Mortals.
Oh, cool, cool. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
So it is very clear that it's a game that's made by people who love point and click adventure games and love the classic
Yes.
point and click adventure games. There's so much thought put into every moment, and technically every piece of it is great, right? The animation is really good. The illustration is beautiful.
Yeah.
The sound design is unbelievably good. I don't
Oh,
like it's
good.
that's not something I normally pick up on, but playing this game, like, holy shit, this is really good sound design.
Yeah.
Um, there's an interesting soundtrack. The voice over is really great. The puzzles are fairly thoughtful,
Cool.
and
Are they difficult?
the story is interesting enough. Not too difficult. Here's what I'm gonna say. It doesn't do anything. It really does, as you're playing, it does feel like the best version of a really good version and a very thoughtful version of what like a person who loved the old point and clicks and wanted to make their own and put a lot of
Okay.
thought into every second and every moment.
Sure.
But there's not a lot of innovation, right?
Okay.
Um, it is almost 100%. Oh, this is kinda like this puzzle I seen somewhere else. Oh,
Mhm.
this is kinda like that scene I saw. Okay, I just got past a point, and, I'll say this because this was very frustrating. Um,
Okay.
you can't skip cutscenes, and
Oh, man.
even though the cutscenes aren't, like, fully animated, they are within the engine,
Mhm.
you can't skip dialogue in a cutscene.
Okay.
Oftentimes in point and click adventure games, or actually any game, if the cutscene is outside of the game engine and just a video, you can't skip dialogue. But
Right.
if it is
Yeah.
in the game engine, generally they let you skip dialogue. In
Yeah.
this, you can't skip either.
Okay.
So, so there is a scene at the end of part 2 where or at the end of part 1 going into part 2 where
Mhm.
you solve a puzzle, you watch a cutscene, then you get the title card for part 2, and then there is a musical number that is very similar to the pirate musical number in Curse of Monkey Island.
Sure.
It is a spectral jazz band, like fully. composed and recorded, and like there's a lead vocalist that is an incredible voice, really interesting, and they sort of sum up the plot of like the things you've seen so far, and then they
Yeah.
ask you to name the three main characters in the mystery. Like, okay, you know these people. Can you place each person? Can you match each role with the archetype?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like, which one's the lover, which one's the pawn, which one's the devil is
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay.
So she'll sing a verse about the lover and then ask you who it is. And then you, the character, will have to say it's this person, or this person.
Uh-huh.
And then she'll sing a justification for it. Then she'll sing another verse about the pawn and ask you who the pawn is. And you have to, so you make your three guesses, and at the end, she'll say with a little rhyme and a little song that you guessed wrong. And
Mhm.
maybe you'll guess right first try, but I didn't. So she'll be like, "You guessed wrong. You got to start over."
Oh, no.
And again, you can't skip any of it.
Oh,
So you have
no.
to sit through the whole song and it took me look, here's I thought something more complex was going on
Yeah.
than like I thought it wasn't what I thought the story was more than meets the eye, right?
Yeah.
So I kept guessing these other things. So it took me 5 times.
Oh, no.
And if you think about it, there's 3 roles and 3 people. The
Uh-huh.
most you can guess is 6 times. Like the most the configuration.
It's not 9?
No, because you would do 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, and then 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1,
Mhm.
and then 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so 5 out of s like, it took me 5 out of 6 possible
Oh, no.
configurations to get it right, and it was really frustrating. Also, I'll say this, I was playing it, and I had to go, so I had to force quit in the middle of it,
Oh,
then
no.
come back, and then do those 5 tries that I'm telling you. So, it was really frustrating to just have to sit there, like, you can't
Yeah.
save in the middle of it.
Yeah. That would frustrate me
Mhm,
as well. I mean, I feel that way about a lot of games.
mhm.
I remember, like, trying to get through that Uncle Marcus game. What was it called?
Yeah, um, oh
Who
my god,
blocked
what
Uncle Marcus or whatever?
oh, who pressed mute on Uncle Marcus, and
Yeah,
you could only
which I
skip yeah,
I do like that game, but
yeah,
hadn't figured it out, and so I was unable to skip a lot,
yeah.
and it was getting very frustrating. But it sounds like this is only at one point in the game.
Right, so what I'll say is, to kind of put a bow on it, I think it's almost like it's trying to be the perfect version of the point and clicks we played in the '90s.
Yeah.
However, unlike some of the other point and clicks we played, it's not like it's not trying to be a game that learned the lessons of the point and
Mhm.
clicks of the '90s, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, it makes
rather
sense.
than doing something new informed by what they loved about the point and clicks in the '90s, they're doing the ideal version of those games, flaws and all.
Okay, I like that. I like that idea, to be honest.
That's I don't know that that was their intent, but that's how the
Right.
game feels to me. It feels like the
Okay.
ideal version of both the plus sides and negative sides of the point and clicks of
Yeah.
the '90s, and that makes it a good game,
Yeah, yeah.
but it
It looks
doesn't.
fantastic. I haven't
Mhm,
sat down with it, but I think I'll probably
mhm.
just knowing what I know about it, I'll probably enjoy it more than you.
Yeah, I mean, and moment to moment, again, you're like, this is great art. This is a great story. This is great voice acting. This sounds good. This looks good. But there's just something about it that doesn't like. It's not inspiring. It doesn't feel. It doesn't. We play so many games that were also inspired by these
Oh,
games
yeah, I know.
and took those lessons and built something brand new.
Yeah.
And I don't get a lot of that feeling playing this. So, um,
I actually talk a little bit about that very idea
Mhm.
in the next video that's gonna go up about games,
Oh,
so you
cool.
should tune into that.
Everyone
Like, I kinda
everyone check out
challenge what you're
mhm.
saying while also kind of agreeing with what you're saying. Um,
Everyone go
yeah,
check out, Pushing Up Roses' YouTube channel then
yeah,
and check
please
out her new
do.
video.
Yeah, and I'll talk more about, like, the idea of innovation and stuff like that.
So I think we will I'm not positive, but I think we'll end up talking a little bit more about Foolish Mortals in our Game of the Year episode. We will definitely be talking more about Strange Jigsaws in our Game of the Year episode, um, which I'm really excited for. I think is
Yeah, me
gonna
too.
be in I don't know if it's gonna be 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but sometime early January.
Yeah.
So everybody
Usually
look out for
obviously
that.
after the new year since it's,
Yeah, I mean, so many people release their Game of the Year episodes in December, and I always think that's weird.
Interesting,
Like, oh,
interesting.
what if
I don't
something
think it
real good
matters.
comes out tomorrow?
I guess they just feel like, "Oh, there's nothing that's gonna change it at this point." So, no,
Right.
I like to wait though, just in case
Yeah.
something comes out on December 31st.
And it gives us some time to play the games that we did not have
Yeah.
time to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll have a really cool guest on that knows even more about games than me and you.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I
okay. Well,
you don't think so?
I know a lot.
So do I, and this person I think knows more.
Alright, fine. Fair, fair, fair. I think I know a lot though.
I think you do too. So, what are we talking about this week?
We are talking about an amazing game. I'm already like, "Oh, it's so good." We were talking about an amazing mystery game,
Wow.
detective mechanic called The Seance of Blake Manor.
Well, then, do you want to play Spooky Ghostorino? I'm sure I've done that one before. And then
Yeah, I'll play that one again.
we'll come back and we'll talk about the Seance of Blake Manor.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Save Your Game. I am one of your hosts, Pushing Up Roses. With me, as always, the holiday ready, ornament inspired Matt Ocamp. Hey Matt,
You lied to the people.
what did I say? What? Why lie?
I'm not ready for the holidays, and you know it.
Oh right, but we're ready, like in theory,
Okay,
but
yeah.
conceptually,
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel
not
ready
going to
for it.
stop the holidays from coming.
Mentally, I'm there. Just physically, you don't have the tree up. That's fine, but mentally, you're
I don't
like,
even
oh
know
yeah,
that I'm there. I
Christmas.
don't know that I'm
Well,
there mentally.
never mind. I what I meant to say was the Scrooge-like
Yeah.
persona of Matt
This is my
Ockham.
first Scrooge year of ever in my entire life.
Aw.
No, I don't think it's Scrooge. I'm I'm not I don't feel anti-Christmas.
What'd you get me?
I just don't feel the Christmas spirit.
What'd you get me for Christmas?
I can't tell you that what did you get me?
I got you something.
I can't tell you what I got you. It's Christmas.
I don't think you did your shopping yet.
I didn't do my shopping.
I'll send you a list of stuff I might want. It'll be like a list of like 100 art supplies. Like, what is this? But yeah,
You
I'm excited. Christmas or no Christmas, because we played this game.
Oh my gosh, this game is so fucking good.
I'm not sure I would have played it if it were not for your glowing reviews of it, especially at Adventure X. So, but I want to say this: this is a game. This is a Rose's game as well as a Matt game. This is way up my alley, and I am so glad I played it. It is so good. So thank you, Matt, for
Yeah.
you didn't force me or anything. I just You didn't
If
say,
I
"Oh,
could
you have
force
to."
you if I was able to force you to play games, do you know how many games you would have played
Yeah,
by this
it'd be a
year?
problem. Yeah.
If I had the ability to force you to play games, it's like
No, it would
so
be bad.
so, uh, this game I played and I really liked. Um, and then I flew to London
Mhm.
and I just kept thinking about it.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
awesome.
they were at I talked to one of the developers briefly.
Yeah.
I think he was a little inebriated, so we didn't have that big of a conversation. But
I wish I had said something.
I talked to one of the developers briefly, and they were all there, and so it just kept popping up in my brain more and more, and I think it would have had I even like it was actually the week leading up to it when I was just in London also, and I
Yeah.
just kept thinking about it, and then you started playing it, and every time you would mention it, I would just like the vibes of the game would just flood back into my head, and
That happens sometimes when
I
we
would
start to you play a game, I'll play it second, and then I'll come back to you because I'll have loved it, right? And
mhm.
then that kind of reinvigorates, like, your thoughts about it, and you start to realize, like, how good the game is just based on what someone else is saying, you know?
Right. I think that happened here, but I think there's something even more basic happening
Yeah.
because I think the vibes just get stuck in your head so hard
Yeah, it's a vibe.
that
Oh,
just
it's a vibe.
remembering the game makes you like it more because you're kind of like, I wish I was back there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, man, yeah, it's a vibe for sure. It's also the perfect closed circle, um, kind of whodunit mystery. It's extremely closed circle because it's it takes place in the late 1800s, what
Mhm.
early 1900s maybe. Uh,
Early
what I'm trying to
1900s.
say is there's limited technology, right? So and also, yeah, you're kind of it's that classic story of a detective is invited to this manor, this mansion or castle. It's a closed circle. You don't leave the premises. Very much a and then there were none type of a situation, Agatha Christie.
And
And
so
but you get and this I have to say, this setting is huge. And I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. I have a very good memory, but I can never quite remember where I'm going. But thank fuck there's a map of the whole
right.
manor that I really
I
had to
had to
keep
keep
referring to.
same.
Yeah.
So just to piggyback off of what you're saying and sort of express the vibe. Yeah, you are a detective. You get invited to this manor. It's in Ireland.
Which is
This
awesome.
this is
Very
a
cool.
very Irish game, and you show up late at night, and as you approach the manor, there's a woman washing her clothes or washing some garment in the fountain,
Right.
and she looks at you and then disappears, and you're like, "Oh fuck, okay."
Scary.
So
It starts out with a startle, I gotta say. I don't want to call it like exactly a jump scare, but it
mhm.
is startling. I'll say that.
So you head into this manor, and when you get in, like again, it's late at night, so everybody's asleep. So you have the front of this manor to yourself for how long? An in-game hour, I think.
Yes, an in-game hour. Yep,
A-
that's correct.
And every action you perform pushes the clock forward a little bit.
Just 1 minute.
Mhm.
Typically, most actions take 1
1
minute,
minute, yeah.
unless it's, like, a more cinematic event, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, sometimes they'll take 5 minutes, and sometimes, like, a really big cinematic event will take 20 or so.
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, this early part of the game is like the game in microcosm. You are tasked with figuring out as much as you can about the mystery that brought you here. A woman was invited to this old Irish manor turned hotel that they are hosting a seance in to bring tourism to the hotel.
Yeah.
And the hotel's full of guests, all there for the seance. And one of the guests, Evelyn Dean, disappeared. And somebody who you don't know who invited you to the manor to investigate her disappearance.
Right.
before you get to bed, before, like, they ready your room in an hour,
Mhm.
you've gotta look around these front rooms as much as you can to find out as much as you can about the disappearance of Evelyn Dean.
Right.
Um,
And this was not for like, for me, I understand that this could be taken as kind of the tutorial.
yes.
It's getting you used to the mechanic, but I have to say, if I were to say anything, even slightly negative of
Yeah,
this game, it's that I thought it was difficult to learn. I didn't fully like I think I fully didn't understand the mechanic until way later on. Like I understood taking up time, I understood like putting deductions together right away. I feel like for me though, I didn't quite understand how evidence worked
okay.
and really what the clock really entailed, but
Okay,
once I
well
did get it,
mhm.
I loved it.
Well, for the audience, can you explain how those things work now?
I think so. I think I'm trying to understand what I didn't get so I can explain it in a way that I did finally get it. I think the biggest part I didn't understand was there are these evidence maps that happen when you clock evidence, and they start to happen right away, and it's a lot on the UI. Like you're given kind of a lot to keep track of almost immediately, right? So you have evidence, you have mysteries to solve, you have a timetable that you can kind of monitor, and then you have these like little mystery maps, and there's more than one map, and I had a very hard time finding where they were. For
Okay.
the longest time, I was only looking at the culprit map and not the bigger picture map, and that held me back
So
for a while.
for people who haven't played the game, let's sort of explain that a little bit, right? As you're walking around this manor and you find evidence, you are also talking to people, and there's another smaller mechanic where every time you talk to a person, you can sort of observe them, like Sherlock Holmes ish. You can look at their, uh, you can like look at various aspects of their appearance
Yeah.
and assemble a sort of a profile of them.
Right, yeah, in fact, that's one of the kind of goals you
Mhm.
have is to profile the people that you're
Yes.
talking to.
So every time you get a new concept from talking to somebody or a new piece of evidence or a new or and there's some crossover there, right? Sometimes a person will give you a piece of evidence, sometimes a piece of evidence will give you a new concept. They
Mhm.
get added to these maps, and like these mental maps,
Yeah.
and they are basically like lists of inventory of ideas
Mhm.
and objects. Um, and it will automatically draw connections between them for you.
Mhm.
And it'll draw connections in certain ways, like these might be connected.
Right,
Uh, these we need more evidence to figure out if they're connected, or these two things are definitely connected.
right,
Or lastly, these two things are not. It turns out these two things are not connected, and
right.
there's different lines for each one of those things.
Yeah.
And as if you collect enough evidence about a specific mystery, Case of the Golden Idol style, you'll get a sentence at the bottom that you fill in with things from the map, with
Right,
concepts from the map. So you can say, you know, Jeff ate the sandwich because he was hungry, right? And like
yes,
Jeff, sandwich, and hungry would all be things you would fill in.
yes,
Um, so this intro, it has you solve a very little piece of the mystery about Evelyn Dean missing,
yes,
so that you can sort of get used to this. And then you go to sleep, you have a crazy dream, and you wake up and meet all the, I think it's 26 characters.
yeah, something like that. It's more than it's hard. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of things to solve.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Uh, yes, it's 26. So you meet all these 26 characters all at once, and it's really overwhelming. But there's a secondary tutorial where one character will like sideline, like waylay you, and tell you, "Hey, I know you're a detective, and I'm gonna tell everybody if you don't help me with this mystery."
Right.
And that is how you sort of learn that each of these 26 characters, not only is this the mystery of Evelyn Dean missing, the prevailing thing, you
Right.
learn that each person has a mystery that relates to why they're here. Some people are here at the seance because they lost somebody and they want to talk to them again.
Yeah.
Some people are here at the seance because they murdered somebody and want to make sure that they can get away with it. Some
Right.
people are here at the seance because they know that this manor has connections to the occult and
Yes.
they want to use this as an opportunity to find and exploit those occult forces.
You know what, you can kind of I think a really good comparison would be, the movie Clue, which is already based on, Agatha Christie whodunits. So in the
Mhm,
movie Clue, the characters are invited by someone anonymous. This wasn't anonymous, but they're all invited to this mansion,
mhm.
and they all have their own reasons for being there. They're not the same reasons. Miss Scarlet is there because, um, I don't wanna, like, spoil let's just say they all have different let's just say they all have different reasons for showing up.
Yes.
And all of their secrets are different. They each hold a secret. So there's only like six characters in that one, and now we have like 26 characters that
26,
all
yeah.
have a secret, and we need to be figuring those. They're all their each little mystery,
Mhm.
and you find evidence around. You talk to people, you interrogate people, and you try to figure out each person's secret or mystery.
And I think this is spoilable because you find this out in this second tutorial. What you realize is that every time you solve somebody's mystery, it tends to get them to agree to not go. Like they tend to then abandon the idea of going to the seance.
Right.
And
Yeah.
there's a weird machine in the lobby of the manor that will then tick down from green to red.
Right.
And so you get this sense from the very beginning, oh, and it'll say like you saved this person from the seance.
Right.
And so you get this sense like, okay, every time I solve one of these people's mysteries, it will depower this machine just a little bit. It will make the person live. Like apparently everyone that's going to the seance is going to die. Apparently,
Right.
according
Right.
to this pop up that I just got,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and
and
that becomes the goal, right? Is
yeah,
not only finding out this overarching mystery of where is Evelyn Dean, but also trying to convince people by figuring out their secrets to not go to the séance. And of course it all ties together. These are
right.
not like,
Well,
yes, people's
yes,
secrets can be
you're right. Yeah.
individualized, but everything's kind of holding hands.
And because you know somebody in the manor has to be the person responsible for Evelyn Dean missing, if you solve everybody's mysteries, one of them is going to give you a clue as to where Evelyn Dean is. And in addition, like as you start doing this, you start to uncover like these other sort of overarching mysteries, like what's up with the Blake family? Something's weird about the Blake family. And
Right.
why are there ghosts everywhere? And that is something this game does fucking incredibly.
Yeah, I love
N-
it. The haunted
n-
kind of it really is like haunted. It's not just like a misunderstanding or like practical effects by some villain in a closet. Like no, it is I actually really like that about the game is
yes.
the hauntings and also the very rich and kind of intense lore. Mostly, European Irish folklore that's included.
So yeah, you realize that. Yeah, exactly. You realize that, and when I say they do the hauntings really well, you're absolutely right. But I was also specifically referring to the fact that sometimes you're just walking around the manor and you
Mhm.
turn a corner and there's a fucking ghost there.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you keep looking at it, it'll fade away. But more likely,
Yeah.
you're gonna jerk the mouse or the controller because you're gonna jump. And
Yeah.
if you look away from it and look back, it's gone.
It put me on high alert, that's for sure.
Mhm. So good.
Yeah.
Which makes me wanna talk about the graphics for a second, and then we can get back to, well, no, let's do the reverse of that. So, this mystery ends up having ties not only to the Blakes, like Rosa said, it has ties to Irish mythology
Yes.
and Irish history, like Irish political history.
Uh-huh.
Um, and like there's a lot in this about the Tuatha De Danann and, like the Celtic
And, like, the fae.
origins. Yes.
It's so cool. I mean, to me, I think I had texted you. I don't know if you ever answered if you wanted to wait for this pod, but I asked if you felt that it was overwhelming.
Okay.
This is a very Roses thing, though. I do tend to get a little overwhelmed when it comes to folk horror. And there has been a rise of popularity in folk horror games. We had Hobbs Barrow. I would say a lot of The Last Door was folk horror. We had Dreams in the Witch House. I think sometimes I get a little inundated with information. It's very similar to how I felt about Gabriel Knight 1 and 2 with Jane Jensen always writing in historical stuff. Always.
Mhm, mhm.
Always. There's even another mechanic in this game on top of the existing mechanics we kind of went through. There's also a library that you
Oh,
can
the
research things
library's
in.
so good.
The library is a great idea. I did find it a little overwhelming at first, but the library was pretty cool. It was a good way to learn about things without having it be even more dialogue from the characters. You can kind of,
And
it feels like you're just reading up on something, you know?
most of the things in the library don't cost time. Some of them
Correct.
do,
Yes.
but most of them don't. So you can just, if
Yes.
you're interested in something that this game brought up, if you're like, "Ooh, Tuatha De Danann, what is that?"
Yeah.
You can just go read about the Tuatha De Danann in the library for
Yeah.
10 minutes,
And it
like,
does
of
tell
your
you,
real lifetime and
yes.
0 time, and it, like, doesn't cost you anything in the game.
Oh, it would have been really hard for me if they had timed it just because, like,
Spend a lot of
I
time.
think
Yeah.
they give you more than enough time to do stuff in this game,
You have yes,
but
so
it
you have
still
3
feels kind
days.
of anxiety inducing.
You have 3 days, and each day is, like, I don't know, 16 hours or something, and most actions take a minute, so it's like,
Yeah,
you have plenty of time to
yeah,
get through all the things you need to get through, even though like, they do employ tension in this game, so there are times you really feel like you don't.
yeah,
Like, you start to feel like, "Oh, I'm not gonna solve these things."
right.
Um, but I promise if that sort of thing stresses you out in games, I promise you have enough time.
Yeah,
And
you do.
if
I
you think
even guys, I fucked around for the
Mhm,
first 2 days. Like, I was still doing stuff. I had told you about some of the mysteries
yeah,
I had, but like I said, it took me a while to fully embrace the mechanic and really fully
mhm,
understand how profiling worked, and so I just fucked around for the
yeah,
first 2 days. You have 3 days to do this. And I still got an amazing ending. I still did it.
yeah, you don't have to do it you don't have to game the system, you don't have to do,
Right.
you don't have to do like, it crossed my mind that a thing you could do is save the game because there are save slots.
Right.
So you could save the game, you could click on a thing that you thought was important, see the dialogue or whatever,
Mhm.
and if it's not important, reload your game. You could do that. But fucking don't, because that would like, you don't need to,
Yeah.
and the fucking around is, like, always valuable in some way. Even if it doesn't even if the fucking around doesn't help, like, go towards solving a mystery, it helps you understand the world, and this world is so cool.
Yes.
Um, okay, so, your question, did I feel overwhelmed by the mythology?
Yeah.
And I wanna say I obviously, mythology is a big interest of mine,
Yeah, it is for me too, for sure.
and folklore is a huge interest of mine.
Yeah.
So, what I think about mythology, a belief that I have about mythology is that sure, it's overwhelming. You're not gonna learn it all, but
Mhm.
it's kind of not meant to be learned. It's you're not meant to learn all of folklore, like an
Right.
entire culture's folklore, right? You're meant to learn to pick up stories here and there and enjoy them in the context in which they're delivered.
Right.
So I didn't walk away from this game I already knew a little bit about Irish mythology and
Yeah.
folklore, and this game taught me a little more, but I didn't
Yeah, I
walk out
already
of this
knew about
game.
some of it, but I didn't know the depths of
Mhm.
it, it was
And
it was intense.
I didn't walk out of this game knowing everything that the game wanted to teach me about it either.
Right.
There's, some of it went in one ear and out with the other.
Yeah.
Some of it my eyes glazed over and I didn't even really read it, right?
I
Uh,
really think that that happens a lot in
mhm.
games that are so at some point, you have to realize you're not gonna understand it all, and just kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little
Yes.
bit and think, "Well, the character is researching it, and they get it. I don't necessarily have to
Yeah,
understand every single intricacy about, like, the Fey world and the gods," and, like, it's tough because it's a lot, it's tough.
exactly. And yes, exactly, and I think, that goes doubly when the things that you're learning are folklore. Like,
Yes.
both I think that's true of video games, I think that's true of folklore. You, absorb what is relevant to you and meaningful to you in the moment.
Yeah.
You don't have to absorb all of it. You can
Yeah.
always go back, and with folklore specifically, you're meant to encounter it your entire life from many different sources, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
every time you encounter it, you'll pick up a little bit more and it'll
Yeah.
remind you of the last thing you learned and you'll start to make connections over an entire lifetime. You
Absolutely.
should never sit down and try to learn an entire pantheon of folklore in
Mhm.
one go because that's just not how it was ever intended by anyone who came up with any of the stories
Right.
that have been passed down all these generations.
Yeah.
So that's my answer to that. It might be headier than you were looking for, but
Yeah.
because I think you were just like if you were just looking for the answer of like, yeah, no, I skipped a bunch of dialogue, like, but
No, that's fine, that's
I
part of the game.
I
That's
d-
part of it.
yeah, I do
Yeah.
think that that is a pretty deep question, um,
Yeah.
because of the themes of this game.
I think what I'm most kind of excited to tell people about this game, even though I think, yeah, the folklore is intense, I think it adds so much personality to this game. I wanna talk about really how good and maybe the most successful detective game I've ever played.
Okay, yes,
This is a success to me, and you guys know
yes.
I play a lot of, mystery games. Some of my favorites are not even that good, they're the Laura Bow games. To me, this is like if the Colonel's Bequest or Dagger of Amon Ra wasn't insane. Like, you know what I mean? Because those
Mhm,
games there's a video by One Short Eye about how Dagger of Amon Ra is pretty much impossible to beat on your first run. You can't do it. It's really, really
mhm,
confusing. There's a lot. But this game, Sansa Blake Manor, you can beat in your first try
mhm,
if you wanted, because there are not as many ways to massively fuck up your run. This is a very good
mhm.
deduction game that I think is maybe the most successful detective game that I've played thus far.
So, we should knock out a couple things. I think that is what we should that and, some of these people's stories is what we should spend the
Yeah,
rest of
let's
this
talk about the
episode
characters.
on. But
Yeah,
first, I wanna knock out some of the simple, just, like, basic stuff of the game. First is the artwork. It's really
yes.
good. It
Yes, I wanna
is
let's touch on that, yeah.
It is like vector artwork with outlines similar to the way like Blueprints is. So you're
Yeah.
walking around a 3D world that right, vector graphics is what you would call this?
Uh, I'm not sure I would call it vector. To me, it's more of kind of like 2D, almost comic illustrated, because it has that black shading. It's very dynamic, very heavily contrasted. I would say it's like a 2D cartoon comic illustrated with you're in a 3D manner. I guess
You
the
know,
manner itself can be considered vector art, but when you're
vector
actually
kind of
talking
like
to the characters, it's yeah,
well, right, yeah, right. So that's what I was gonna get to then. So like the manor itself is like vector art or cell shaded art,
really pretty.
with outlines around it. So it kind of looks like you're walking through a
Yeah.
comic book. It's very. If you look at a picture of this, like a screenshot of the game, it could look like a 2D game.
And
Um,
also it doesn't do it justice. I felt the
yes.
same way about Hobbs Barrow. Remember when I just looked up screen caps and I'm like, that's very strange.
Mhm.
This in motion is it looks utterly
Be
fantastic. It's
beautiful.
got kind of those it has a very comic style and sometimes in some of the ways that the story is told. It
Well,
even has like the little
yeah,
like the little what are they
comic
called?
book panels.
Not yes, the panels, but also when there's, like, an onomatopoeia, like, when there's, like, a word, like,
Oh,
"Come."
right, so even in 3D space, there'll be a sound effect that is in like a visual like, it'll say, like,
It's really
clang.
cute. Yeah,
Um, so yeah, so
it's
the
really
world
cute.
itself is those kind of graphics, again, very like blueprints, but, the characters will be 2D pictures of drawings of the characters in the 3D space.
Right.
Um, Similar to, Danganronpa or Paradise Killer. Is Am I right that Persona is also that way? I haven't played Persona.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, correct. In
but
fact, it has a little bit of a Persona vibe
mhm,
just because you are doing it's not as restrained as Persona, but there's kind
mhm,
of like a timed action thing kinda going on.
yeah.
You gotta really think about where you wanna put your time, but you have way more time in Blake Manor. Like, it's both forgiving and also keeps you a little anxious.
Yes, 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 yes. Which it does, like, again, like we said, does really well of making you feel the tension, even though you pretty much always have enough time to get done what
Yeah,
you need to do.
yeah,
So, like, you have more than enough time so that even if you make some mistakes and fuck around, you still anyway.
absolutely.
So the illustration style of these characters is kind of like Mike Mignola, like Hellboy.
It's
The
great. So
mhm,
beautiful.
very stark um, blacks and
Mhm.
like the shading is all just like, yeah, these really heavy blacks, and then um, it's not like cluttered at all. Very
Right.
very like if you look at somebody's face, right, it'll be in the shading, it'll be these heavy blacks, and then it'll be just this like big blank space
Yeah.
with features on it. It's not, not overly illustrated.
Right.
Um, Simplistic but moody, I would
Yes.
say.
Yeah. Oh, very moody. This whole
Mhm.
game is, again, a vibe, a mood, you know?
And then, like you said earlier, the mansion is designed. It's huge. It's designed in this really interesting way, and it's different sections of it are gated so that it doesn't feel so that you access certain parts at certain times, but you don't.
Yes.
Besides maybe the basement, it doesn't feel like you're barred off from a thing, and you're like, God, when are they going to let me in there?
Well,
Right?
let me tell you something. I didn't find a key to the other part of the manor until late day 2. It's a
Yeah.
miracle I even beat it. And the reason that is there's a lot to see in this game. There's many rooms, there's many areas, and there are some unoccupied rooms, rooms that don't have a guest in them.
Yes.
And there are a few of these unassigned rooms, and I confused one for the other. And you have to look in both rooms. You have to. Otherwise
Yes.
you will miss something. And I thought I did. I genuinely I thought I did. And that I think knowing what I did wrong is when I really embraced the mechanic. It's like, okay, let's look again. You know, let's see if I missed something.
I'm gonna say this. There are several hints that that key is in that room.
I know, and I did
Okay.
digest them, but
Okay.
for some reason, I'm like, "Oh, it's not maybe it moved, maybe somebody took
Yeah.
it."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
So, I mean, another thing about this manor is that it is, and I think maybe this is a slight flaw, is it's that it's so big. It's also like a lot of it is very spacious, and so you
Yes,
are going to spend a lot of time running around.
that's true. I didn't think it was as bad as some other games that I backtracked in, because I think it is a little clever in there's so many interactable things close by. There were a few times where I was just running. That's it.
Mhm.
I was just running back and forth to one thing to the other. But I think because there are so many mysteries, there are so many places to find evidence, it does a pretty decent job, like keeping that in line. You know what I mean?
Right. Um, okay. So, I think that sets aside all the technical stuff
Yeah.
that I wanted to cover.
Mhm.
I think it is time to dive into the mystery.
Okay.
You lead the way on this one.
Okay, cool. So we are playing a character named Declan Ward. You are a detective, and you are invited to this manor to look into the disappearance of one of the guests. Her name is Miss Dean, Evelyn Dean, and it's not known who wrote us. It is an anonymous letter just from a concerned party. We go into this manor, and like I said, you're greeted by this kind of startle scare to kind of set the tone of what you're in for.
Mhm.
And this vibe, man, I just gotta say, when I actually entered the hotel part of the manor, because you're a guest, you're a guest there, you're gonna have your own room. The vibe immediately was who done it, Agatha Christie, really cozy, really spooky. There are these little turnip jack-o'-lanterns everywhere, but you come across one right away in the doorway. And I think that also kind of gives you a hint as to what's in store because already there's kind of like a lore going on. Somebody is already um, interested in that. And we learned that there is going to be a seance in 3 days.
Right.
And yes, and there are, again, I think we said 26. I don't know how many guests there are, but there are 26 characters in this game. Many of them are guests staying in other rooms. So your job currently, as you get there, is to figure out what happened to Miss Dean. Why did she go missing? Where did she go missing? And as you uncover those things, you also start to realize that everyone is a little bit weird. The manor is very strange. It seems to be haunted. I mean, it is. It is haunted. Um, it seems to be in an area that's rich with other entities like
Yeah.
fae and things of that nature, not just ghosts, but like other Irish entities. Um, and yeah, everyone is really acting kind of strange. The owner of the manor is acting real weird. You got to figure out what the heck is going on with him. And he's the one who's like, we got to have this seance. So the manor, the guy who owns the manor, he invited a very well known. I don't know if she was referred to as a priestess, but she's the medium.
She's a medium. Yeah,
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 so
yeah.
yeah, they invite a medium, and she is there to perform this seance, and everybody has their own reasons for going to this
Yeah.
seance. And you could probably at least infer that if you're going to a seance, you're probably wanting to make a connection, right? That's
Right.
probably a big motivation for most people. You go to a seance to in hope to speak with the deceased, your family members, your friends, something like that. So you also have to find out even what the host wants to do. Like why is this séance even taking place and
Mhm.
where is this missing woman? Like what is going on?
Yeah.
And man, that was some of my favorite parts of the game beyond, figuring out everyone's secrets of why they're at the séance. Some of my favorite parts were really figuring out what happened to Miss Dean. And it's going to be nebulous, I think, until end game, to be
Mhm.
honest. But it was just so fun to uncover that particular mystery. Like, oh, her footprints are over here. Where does this lead? And
Yeah.
then you talk to a character and like, did you see this? Were you at this bridge game
Or
during the
like
time
the
Evelyn Dean
bridge
went
game.
missing?
The
Yeah.
bridge game is so great. Yeah,
Like,
like the last time anyone sees her, well, she gets into an argument with some man
yes.
right after a bridge game,
Yep.
that many of the people are at. So you ask everybody about the bridge game, and everybody like sort of tells you little details, and you start to learn, okay, who's a liar,
Yeah, yes.
and they might not be lying for a reason that they had something to do with Evelyn Dean's disappearance.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
So you just start to learn, okay, who here is a liar, and what is and also just like what's everybody's connections to each other
Yeah, to
and
each
how do they
other.
all
Yeah,
feel about each other is something
yeah,
that you learn a lot about through the bridge game.
yeah,
That again, that you're not at, you're just asking people
yeah.
about.
And it's, of course, if you kind of think back to, just as an example, the Colonel's Bequest, everybody is at this for a specific reason, and they all have opinions of each other in Colonel's Bequest. You can ask somebody about someone else, and they'll be like, I hate that
Mhm.
person. It's very similar here. Everybody has certain connections, or they'll have none, or they'll
Yeah,
say they have none. But it is really, it's that kind of quintessential murder mystery where there's everyone has some kind of tie, and some people are friends, some people are not friends at
and
all.
some people you don't know their connection until you
Yeah,
catch them, right? Like
yeah,
there's people that you find a note about a meeting, and so
yeah.
you sneak your way into that meeting, and then it's like,
Again, like,
"Oh, these 2 people, what the
yeah.
hell?"
Again,
Or
very Dagger of
mhm,
Amon Ra. If you find a letter of there's a meeting at 3 o'clock, and you have to be there at 3 o'clock,
right.
or you're gonna miss this meeting.
But like Colonel's Bequest, you have to go through the wall to find it.
Yeah, you have to go through.
Um, but
Funny.
also, uh, there's a lot of eavesdropping. There's a
Yep,
lot of
yep.
seeing 2 people talk and being like,
Very Laura Bow. Yep.
"What are they doing here?"
It's
And
great.
getting up close to them and eavesdropping and learning just little bits about them. And then
Yeah,
basically this game, you're solving the mystery almost like interrogating people, walking around, finding clues around the manor, going to the library, researching things. But majority of this game takes place in breaking into people's rooms.
yes, and I love it
Mhm.
because that's what makes it. I mean, aside from the supernatural element that's going on, you don't see that a lot in whodunits. That's kind of that's what makes it kind of its own identity, is it's not really grounded in reality. But aside from that, I felt like, oh, I am a detective here. I am finding keys to get into people's rooms. I am looking at their stuff. I am writing it down as evidence. I'm connecting it to something else. I am eavesdropping. This really made me feel like the detective mechanic was just spot on.
Yes.
Like, this is how I want to play a detective game.
Y- yes. And I want to say this game is also it does lead you. So
Yes.
so in your
Apparently, it
mind
didn't help me because clearly I was farting around. But yes, it is guided.
so in your mind map, you have one mind map for the overall mystery, and it'll say like the bridge game or Evelyn Dean's disappearance or the argument or whatever. And
Hmm.
when you click on that, it'll show you everything you've learned about that, everything that ties to it. And again, the stuff that you thought might tie to it, but ended up being a dead end. And I'll show that with like a little broken line.
Yeah.
Um, and when you get all the evidence you need, again, you can fill out a case of the golden idol style sentence at the bottom. But
Yeah.
before you get all the evidence you need, it'll tell you towards the top exactly what you need to do. Not exactly.
Not
A
exactly,
vague
because if it did exactly, I wouldn't have gotten
yeah.
so stuck on something, and I'm not gonna say what it was. But yes,
It'll tell you a
it gives
vague
you
hint of what
goals.
you need to do.
Yeah,
And
it gives you objectives.
then it'll do the same thing for each character profile. There's a mind map that has all the characters, and you click on each of them, and there's your sort of like profile of the character,
Yep.
all the evidence you've gathered about them. And if you ever need a reminder, you can just click on those pieces of that each concept, and there'll be a description of what you
Yeah,
learned.
your little
I'll
detective description. I will
I'll tell
say
you
that
those
that's
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, maybe we're gonna say the same thing. Those descriptions are a little vague. You really do have to employ your memory. Um,
Oh, yeah.
if I had stepped away from this game and tried to rely just on those descriptions, I wouldn't know fucking anything. Those
Yeah, and
descriptions are not it could be a little more detailed. But
yeah. Well, I think that kind of falls in line with what you do wanna be a little
mhm,
challenged in a detective
yes.
game. You do wanna feel like the game is not just giving you anything. And I wanna say, even though it's guided, and it's guided in a very well, it's about guided in a very realistic way, right?
Mhm,
As a detective, you would be writing down your things to do. You would be keeping track of that in real life. I think the biggest thing is that there's so many things to keep track of
right.
that that's the challenge there. It's like, okay, I've got 26 characters. They do all have descriptions. I am getting evidence, but which one do I actually want to do first? Is there can I do this one now? Can I do
Yeah.
this one now?
And
Where
are
should I search?
some of them barred? Like, are some of them you can't do it until, and again, the little clue thing, your little directional thing, your to-do list will tell you often if
Yeah.
you can't do it yet.
Yeah, but it
If
is
you're
up to you to decide kind of where
what
you wanna
order.
go
Mhm.
first, who you, because I don't I'm certain we didn't solve these mysteries in the same order as each
Right.
other. I'm certain that I did a lot on the 2nd day that you probably already did.
Yeah, I solved some mysteries on the first day. I think I probably solved most of them on the second day. But I
Yeah,
think by the end of the first day, a I was at as far as I could get at that point with many of them.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'm trying to think. So who obviously there are two people you have to solve first. Um, you don't really have a choice.
mhm.
Um,
Yes, and I think that's a little bit more of the tutorial, because it shows you exactly, like, how to go about solving the character's mysteries. Um,
right.
and then you can kind of do it on your own, right? So you're guided right away. Somebody approaches you right away. Once you kind of figure out those initial mysteries that are kind of presented to you, you can go. Obviously, there's not really an order to the mysteries. The biggest thing is you have to get everyone to not go to the seance
Yeah.
on that
Who
3rd day at 9 o'clock.
who is the first person you solved?
Oh my gosh, the very first. You mean outside of the two tutorial
Yes.
people? Goodness. Interestingly, I spent a lot of time on a different optional mystery that was given to me in
Oh,
the
yeah,
manor.
I did that one too. I think that was also my first mystery solved.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't remember who the first person was though. Who was I focused on? I was certainly focused on, gosh, I don't remember her name now. I know the last few ones that I did that came up
my
like way later.
mine was Olivia Darcy.
Oh, that's mine. That's who I'm trying to think of.
Mhm.
Yeah, I solved hers pretty immediately.
And who hold on, interestingly, who was your last one?
Varley.
Me too.
Varley was the last one. Yep. And I could have had him way. I did a boo-boo. So in this game, there are a lot of, like, safes and, like, combos for those safes,
Mhm.
and they're fine, they're not illogical, they make sense. What I did was I found a safe code early on, and I didn't click on it, so it wasn't actually file I just remembered it. Literally, I remembered it in my head. That's what I was doing. I even went back and looked at the safe code over and over and then went back to the safe, and the objective, it wasn't helping me because I
Mhm.
didn't realize I simply didn't click on a piece of evidence to put it in the informa to put it in the
Yeah.
game's information. So I could have had Varley early on, but I didn't. He was the very last one.
Varley was the last one for me. Here's an
Yeah.
interesting thing. What was the let I now I wanna kinda keep going. Who's the second person you solved? Because then I went real hard on Lloyd Dupree,
Yeah.
and
Dupree was later for me,
and d yes, because Dupree you can't solve until the 2nd, maybe even 3rd day.
and you need access to the mansion. And remember, I was so late.
Access to the
I
mansion.
was so late in finding the key, I needed access to his room. You need to see
Oh, I see what you're
everyone's
saying.
room, yeah, to
Okay,
figure out
okay.
these games.
But yeah, but I didn't do him until I think day 3. Do you remember who your 2nd person was?
Let me look up the characters. I know I definitely remember who the very, very early on characters were. It was definitely Darcy. Oh, it was also, what's the name?
Because I think you can do these in
O'Meara?
Oh!
Capel O'Meara? I solved him pretty early on.
Wow, okay, alright, never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah, he was one of my last ones. I was thinking,
Okay.
wouldn't it be wild if this game gave the, um, impression that you could do it in any order, but was subtly guiding us that you had to do it in a specific
No,
order, and it
I
was
don't
just, like,
think
so
so.
well designed that it could but no, now we know
No,
that that's not the
no.
case because my second one was, uh, uh, Quarantine Quinn.
No, I didn't figure here's another thing that I did, which I should have embraced. I to get Quarantine Quinn, you have to go in and see something in a bathroom, and I am
Yeah,
so scared of video game bathrooms because of Colonel's Bequest as a kid. I just, like, I just, like, "There's definitely a demon in here or a ghost," and I
yeah.
really I didn't get her till much, much later.
Alright, how okay, who was your favorite not just your favorite oh, well, why don't we do both? Who is your
Mhm.
favorite character? Not mystery, just character.
Oh, not mystery, just character in general.
Mhm.
Gosh.
And you can't say Declan Ward. He's
Yeah,
the guy we play.
I'm the favorite. No. Um, gosh, I think they all have such interesting personalities, but I think my
Most
favorite
of them do.
character
I don't
yeah.
know if Michael Scarrett does.
Well, sure. Look, they can't all be winners, okay? Um, I think probably my favorite I'm trying to find her name in the list here, but she is gonna be the Dre, the, um, the redheaded
Yeah.
character. I really
Fiad Ca
like her.
Fiad Callahan.
Callahan, yes, that's it.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed talking to her. I liked her she was there with somebody, and I liked
Yeah.
that character too. I also really liked the stable guy. His name was, Darag Hunter Darag
Oh,
Hunter.
yeah, he
I
was
actually really like
great.
him too. Yeah,
I was gonna say I liked Saoirse Murphy,
Saoirse,
but I
yeah.
think Darog Hunter is definitely, uh, S tier character.
Yeah, he was great.
He's
I
so good.
I really did
He's just
enjoy
he's
talking
a
to the majority, though.
he's the stable master and groundsman. He's, just this, like, old Scottish guy who just, like, looks fucking tough as nails, and you find
Yeah.
out he's also, like, he also has a history of, um practicing magic. There
Yeah.
is a thing early on where you see a list, and this list I referred to so many times. You see a list of people who are definitely, or maybe, or are definitely not magical.
Right, yeah, that's part of actually figuring out who the culprit is,
And
to
that is
see who's
correct.
magical and who's
But
not.
you see this list at the in that quest at the beginning that you have to do first.
Yes, yeah.
And so the entire time you have this note that's like these like four people are definitely magical. These two people might be magical, and these two people are not magical. And you wouldn't think that would be such a big deal,
Yeah.
but man, I looked at that so many times.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I also I mean, he's probably not my favorite character, but I really did kind of enjoy talking to Varley, who is
because he didn't give you, he never gives you anything. He's just like
he's just
he's
grumpy all the time and, like
he's
I but
so
there's
mad
something
at you.
about him. There's
Yeah.
something about him I found very mysterious, and I like this voice actor a lot. I'm just trying to figure out who did I love running into? Um, definitely, again, Hunter. I even really liked, the one who was with, Victoria Lau, her
Ivy Ivy Mc,
I
Ivy
Ivy
McLeod.
McLeod. I liked that story too, but I liked her character.
Mhm.
Yeah, they I
I
there's
liked
definitely characters we liked more than other characters,
I
that's for
liked
sure.
Ivy McLeod. I didn't like Victoria Lau very much,
No,
actually.
yeah,
I was
I
the
agree.
Lloyd Dupre was also a real favorite of mine. Okay, hold on. So that's characters.
Yeah, yeah.
Who had your favorite mystery?
This is gonna sound, like, so stupid.
Oh,
This is
no.
gonna sound
Okay.
so trite, because really, if I really think about it, it's Evelyn Dean.
Evelyn Dean. Okay.
He is my favorite mystery, or if I were to I guess if I had to go off, veer from
Mhm.
that, I would say Lord Dupree.
Uh,
Lloyd, sorry, Lord. I
Lloyd,
said
yeah.
Lord. Lloyd Dupree.
He
Lloyd
sounds like he's saying Lord. It took me
I
so long
know.
to find to fake to just like read his name that was right in front
He
of me
had
the whole
a
time.
he had a very some of these
Lord
stories are very
Dupree.
sad.
Lloyd Dupree, his story made me cry.
Aw,
That
man.
story was the I think most touching story in the game.
It was
Though
nice.
his buddy, the first one we solved, what was her name again?
The first one?
The first one that both
Mi
me and you solved.
Mrs. Erickson.
No, 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 the
Oh,
first
Darcy.
choice that we solved.
Olivia Darcy.
Olivia Darcy, her story is pretty fucking good though.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Um, her story is very, um
That was a juicy one, honestly.
yeah, juicy is the word for
Yeah,
it. Like,
that was a ju
Lloyd's is sad.
yeah.
Olivia's, and I should be calling them by their last name because mostly in the game you use their last
You
name. So
use it yeah, the last name.
Dupree, his story is sad and touching.
It's sad and
Darcy's
it has
mm,
steps to it.
yes.
Yeah.
Darcy's story is, um, like, it's just very scandalous.
It's
And
juicy. Yep.
there's some people in this game who are kind of, there's the thing you start to learn is that everybody is sort of following their worst impulses and have
Yeah.
been for the, like, several months leading up to the seance.
Yeah.
And so all of them have done most of them have done, like, the worst thing they've ever done in their lives,
Mhm.
or which for some people isn't that bad, but, like, most of these people have done the worst things they've done in their lives or are following their absolute worst impulses
Yeah.
or have fallen into obsession or
Yeah.
infatuation or like
Mhm.
the most negative version of any emotion, right? Like, instead of being in
Yeah.
love, they're infatuated. Instead of being interested, they're obsessed. Instead of being jealous, they're
Vengeful even, yeah.
vengeful.
Yeah.
Exactly. So everybody has been following, and you don't really know as you're going through this, is this just these are a bunch of shitty people?
Yeah.
Or is something is some force working on these people?
Yeah. Because of the magical aspect and because of the haunted manor and because of just even simple tropes that exist in this kind of genre, you can probably infer really quickly that the manor itself is affecting people
Mhm.
in ways, even you
But
the character that you're playing.
the thing that is sort of wild to discover is, again, like, that this question of, wait, was it affecting everyone before they got here?
Yes. Yeah, you
Which
have to wonder.
yeah,
Also before we even I also really like Saoirse's story.
me too. Me too.
I really liked her story.
I liked her as a person. I liked
Yeah.
her story. Um, I
Figuring out
remember
that story was so cool.
you stumbled across a bit of evidence about
I
that
did.
story early on,
Yep,
and you texted me about it because you thought it was about something else,
I did.
and
I
I
was,
was like,
like, having
I think I just
thoughts.
texted back like, "Hmm."
Yeah, but interestingly, since I am so kind of familiar with just the genre, this is my life, right? I
Mhm.
do a whole show about murder mystery stuff. I was able to 50% figure out what was happening early on, but I
Yes.
didn't know that it would go so unhinged,
Mhm.
which
So
is so Agatha Christie. Like it just goes off the rails. It's fantastic.
so we're gonna talk about the ending, but we're not gonna talk about well, I think we should talk about it without spoilers.
I We
So
need to not spoil this. We
we have to
need
talk
to
about
not.
our reactions to the ending rather than the
Sure.
ending itself. So
Yeah.
so again, a lot of these threads come together. Not everybody's personal mysteries, but a lot of the themes in their mysteries and the threads, like, again, the occult, history, the Blake fortune,
Mhm.
and like literally Irish history
Yeah.
factors into this. Like real, actual, real life Irish history and Irish mythology.
Yeah.
All of that factors in to what is actually happening here at the end.
Yeah.
And you you get access to this other part of the manor that you've never been in, and slowly a mystery that you just couldn't have guessed.
Yeah, you can't. I guessed a very important part
Mhm.
of this mystery, but yes, you cannot get to the solution by yourself
No.
on this. It goes way
Mhm.
out there, and I kinda like that because
Mhm.
it's a great story and a great gameplay in that it gives you mysteries you can solve, tangible mysteries that you have solved, you have gotten the conclusion to, while also doing this storyline with a twist that keeps that twist secret until the end.
And the twist, while it is utterly insane,
Yeah.
it you 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 like, it doesn't feel unearned. You get to
No.
that twist and you're like, "Oh my," you're not like, "What?" You're like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my," your hands over your mouth, and
Like, "What is
you're
happening?"
just progressing the story, like, holding your breath, like, oh my god, this can't be what I'm seeing."
And at
And
one point, I'm like, "What the fuck is happening? What have I done?"
S s so, um, yeah, I mean, there's a lotta in this game, aside from the mysteries, there's some point and clickish puzzles, right? Like, there's some, uh, codes you have to find, some
Yeah.
items you have to use with other things. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
like a
It's mostly clocked as, like, evidence, right? Like, in Colonel's
Mhm,
Bequest, it's not really like, there are some, but it's mostly, like,
right.
evidence-based gameplay and deduction and
But
interrogation.
this final part, when you get to this other part of the mansion that you've never been in, and again, this isn't a spoiler, you'll know pretty early on, like, "Oh, they won't let me in that part of the mansion." Probably that's the end of the game, and you're right. Um, but it then becomes like a series of kind of like escape room puzzles for
Yeah,
the
for a little
next
bit.
10-20 minutes, depending on how
Yeah.
quickly you solve puzzles. And how did you feel about that?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It felt like it improved the pacing, it felt like it improved the stakes, it set up the twist, those last kind of
Mhm.
the let's just call it like the end game moments, right? Where you can't go back now, right? And you get access to a totally different part of the manor. I loved it. I thought I did not see it coming.
Mhm.
I did not know where this was gonna go. You find secret rooms and,
And
secret
this
evidence, and it's great.
Yeah, and this is and it is the most absurd version of, escape room puzzles where,
Yeah.
like, no one would have this in their house. Not even the
Correct.
most insane person could do like,
It's true.
there's a thing where it's like, uh, I'm gonna make up these details because I don't wanna spoil any of the puzzles, but it'd be like, "Oh, I saw a triangle scrawled on the banister. Oh, I saw a square, um, on my own shoe, and I
Mhm.
saw a circle in a book."
Yeah.
And it was a different color than all the other inks. So then later, the combination is triangle, square, circle.
Yeah,
And you're like,
yeah.
"What the fuck? That how is that?" Like, I get how I, as a player, got there,
Yeah,
but how did Declan Ward as a detective get there? Because those are just
sure.
3 random things in the world. Like like, it absolutely unhinged. Like, so I think, like, they are fun puzzles, and there is a
Yes.
good, pacing, like you're saying,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it feels fun to switch it up. But, like, for a game that is otherwise so logical and
Right.
so reasonably, designed,
Yeah.
these final couple puzzles are,
No, I agree.
uh,
I agree. I think it
absolutely poor, like, just kinda dog shit design, but
no,
still
I get
somehow fun to
it's
do, yeah.
it's very grounded until that moment of I think I don't know, when it picks up, yeah, the puzzles maybe
We're
take
like,
a little dip.
what if somebody had m if somebody had moved that projector a little bit, you wouldn't be able to get into the next room? What?
Uh,
Like, it's
I
just
understand. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I get it. I get you.
So, anyway, but regardless, and
Those
then
were I just wanna say those were not my favorite puzzles, but
I
yeah,
enjoyed them, but I also just thought they were stupid as hell,
yeah,
which I think both things can coexist and often do in adventure games, and
absolutely.
this is an example of that, but it's just like, they did stick out because they were so different than everything else in the game.
Yeah.
and then you sort of move to the end game where things get very where you go to the Seance, obviously,
Yeah.
and from there, things get pretty wild.
Yep.
Um,
Gets real weird real quickly.
and it's kinda cool. At the end, every character has, a little epilogue, whether they any character that survives, I'll say,
Mhm.
um, has a little epilogue.
Yeah, if you've played Dagger, it's gonna make you so happy because I think one of the coolest I'm serious, like, at the
Yeah.
end of Dagger, if if everyone survives, if you talk to people, you will get their story at the
Mhm.
end, and that made me so happy that Seance did it too. I wanna know what
Yeah.
happened to these characters so everybody gets their own little ending, and it's
Yeah.
great.
And if you solved everybody's mystery, you get a little epilogue.
Yes, and I
Um,
like that too. I like that too.
so, man, I it feels like we've covered this whole game. What are your other thoughts about it? And granted, uh, suffice it to say, everybody, we will be talking about this game in a couple weeks too.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
there is
Absolutely, we
no
will.
chance we won't.
No, I
But
really, really loved this game. It was the exact vibe that I wanted and needed. Like I think I said it pretty succinctly in that it's the best detective game, the most successful
mhm,
detective game that I've ever played. That this is what I would want in a mystery game. And I love those old classics. I love mystery games.
mhm,
Like I really
mhm.
like Laura Bow, even though they're
Yeah,
very, very, very flawed mechanically. I like Contradiction, which had more of a deduction based thing going on. I love Golden Idol. I like the Duck Detective games. I think even they have a good mechanic. But
yeah.
this, I think, is the most kind of, I don't want to say it's not realistic because it's still, fantasy, but it is the most realistic version of a video game detective that I've played.
I think it is interesting that this game came out the same year as the Roottrees Are Dead,
Mhm.
um, because I think they both do, like, a very realistic, very grounded mystery.
Yes.
Granted, very realistic in the way you
You know
solve
what
it,
I
right?
mean. But yeah, the
Yeah,
way
yeah, yeah,
yeah, the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
mechanic
yeah, yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, not like, obviously what happened in Seance of Blake Manor is, could not it involves, like, ghosts and gods and shit. So,
Yeah.
but they both have this way where you feel like you are doing the actual research and uncovering the facts yourself, even though the game
Yeah.
is handing them to you in a way.
Yeah.
Um, you get to the end of each game and you feel like that was your accomplishment.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and I think yeah, I just think it's interesting that both those games came out the same year. Clearly, this is something that is in a lot of people's heads, and I think since, um, you know, Return of the Obra Dinn and Case of the Golden Idol, this is in a lot of game designers' heads. This idea of like,
Mhm.
what if we stepped away from the the like the narrative leading somebody through a mystery
Yeah.
and trust the player to actually solve a mystery.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Blake Manor is an example of doing that without sacrificing any narrative.
Yeah.
It
Her story
feels
kind of
yeah.
feels that way too. Her story feels like you are doing it. You
Right.
are looking for the evidence, you are tying it together. Yeah, it makes it
But
feel like you are the detective.
the difference I think with her story, the majority of it is just you in your real life thinking about the stuff you've seen.
Yeah.
Where in Blake Manor and also in Roottrees Are Dead, you're sort of proving it as you go.
Sure, sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and so it is leading you through a narrative
Yeah. It's
kind of
just that same
intentionally.
feeling of
But
you have
yes,
done it. You are actively doing the work
oh,
here.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And I I'm just I'm very impressed
Yeah.
that it seems like there is this trend of game designers. It seems like this is this era of game design. I don't know if you agree or not. Where instead of instead of making the stuff that they've seen before, most like people are really taking the time to sit and think about, like, what did this mechanic in this other game I played and enjoyed, what did it mean?
Mhm.
And in what ways can I apply it
Mhm.
to a completely different, um, context?
Yeah.
And you know, you don't have a game like Blueprints or a game like Blake Manor without somebody playing a bunch of different games that were
Mhm.
also very innovative and then
Yeah.
thinking about them and saying, "How could I use that idea, but in a way that's so different that it's barely even recognizable anymore?"
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Okay, any other thoughts about Seance of Blake Manor before we
No?
say goodbye to the people, the
Please
Christmas
play it.
people?
Please give it a chance. Please give it a
Yeah,
chance. Like, it
please.
I think I some of me passed it up initially because the graphics were weird, not in motion, and you had a minor comparison to Blueprints, and I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna be terrible at this game." But it is guided, like we said, it's worth giving a shot. And you can take your time with it. You don't have to binge it like I did. I just binged all 20 hours of it in pretty
Yeah.
much one go. So please play it. Please give it a shot. I think my fans, at least if you're coming from the murder mystery fan base, I think you would love it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game I think I would recommend to anybody,
Yeah.
which is not the case for all the games that we bring to the show.
Oh yeah, of course not.
We have a niche interest in a type of game that not everybody loves.
Yeah.
This is an example of a game that is in our wheelhouse that I think I could give to anybody and
Yeah.
say, "You will like this
Have
game."
fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for listening on this. I don't know when
Christmas
this is going
Eve.
up. Is it Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, everybody, I hope if you're listening, uh, on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day, or even just right after, I hope you have a good holiday, or you're having one, or you just had one. Um, Enjoy the holiday season, and you know, be kind to each other. I guess is all I have to say. It's been a
Yes.
really rough year for I
It is
think
tough.
just about everybody.
Yeah.
The stress of the political world, right?
Mhm.
And the stress of like a fracturing society
Yeah.
is
Economy
putting
sucks.
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's putting
Internet
stress on
sucks. It all sucks.
it's making this like low key level of stress in all of our lives. And so then as the economy
Mhm.
starts breaking down and things like we just don't have the bandwidth to deal with it
Yeah. We
all.
don't have the patience we would maybe normally have.
And so probably uh most of the people probably a lot of you listening and probably most of the people in your life are going through some kind of hard time right now. So I just want to say be kind to each other, be generous where you can.
Yeah.
Let's try to make next year a little better. Like the political situation is not going to change.
It's
And
tough. But
prob
we can, there are some things in life we can control, and we hope to make the best of those things.
yeah. And now's the time to express it that, you know, we really appreciate you guys listening. Uh we hope this does for you what similar pieces of culture do for us, right? Like when we listen to video game podcasts and watch YouTube videos, it makes us feel good. We hope this makes you feel good. And if it does, we hope you'll pass that along and try to make somebody else feel good.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you. And if you want to check us out on anywhere, uh, Save Your Game Podcast on Instagram. You can email us, matandroses at gmail. And we have a Discord. It's hopping.
Yes.
We both of us are in there every now and then, so we'll have links in the show notes. And yeah, and Matt, Merry Christmas to you, and thank
Merry
you
Christmas to
for
you.
what, 2 years of this podcast,
My
year and a half,
God.
2 years, something like
Can you
that.
believe that? Yeah, 2 years
Yeah.
of this podcast about. So yeah, thank you. It's been it's been a blast, and I'm excited for another year of it.
Yeah.
Um, I can't like this year was so crazy with video games. I can't even I can't even imagine what next year's gonna bring, you know? um, here's the last thing I want to say to everybody,
Mhm,
and it's an important one,
mhm.
and I think it's one we should all take very, very seriously.
Uh-huh,
Roses,
uh-huh.
podcasts is art.
I you know, it's a hot take, but I fully agree with you. And
Thank
you know
you.
what? Today art isn't suffer.
No.
Today art is merry.
Art is merry. Merry art, everybody. Merry podcast, everybody.